I'm going to be talking about the game The Last of Us today. I feel like this is good timing since the trailer for the second game just came out, so if you haven't watched it, go watch it right now. The Last of Us is a third-person shooter zombie game with survival-like features. The game follows the story of a smuggler named Joel and Ellie, a young girl he's been hired to smuggle out of the quarantine zone and bring across the country. This video will contain spoilers for the game, so make sure you've played the game before watching. I highly recommend it, it's one of my favorites. Now, the whole reason for this video is for me to prove a point and settle a bet I have with a friend. A few months back, I was playing The Last of Us, and I reached a part of the game in which you play as Ellie, forced to take care of a sick and injured Joel from an injury he sustained during the journey. Ellie ends up running into a group of survivors and finds herself quickly in trouble. Now, I'm going to assume that everyone watching has played the game, or at least understands the story, so I'm going to just get to my point. My friend and I began arguing on whether or not David raped Ellie, or attempted to rape her. My friend's convinced that David raped Ellie at some point during the game. But this is just untrue. To solve this, I was searching on the internet to show him otherwise, thinking that it would be an open and shut case, but to my surprise, it seemed like it was a widely debated issue, with no one having a real solid argument to back up their claims. So I decided to take it upon myself and prove that David never raped Ellie, or attempted to rape her, and to hopefully put a rest to this debate. So we can agree that David's a pedophile, a creep, a pervert, what have you. Isn't it nice that we can all agree on something? However, his romantic intentions are quickly thrown away as Ellie proves that she's not going to take any crap from him by breaking his fingers. By the way, Ellie, not the smartest move to make, especially considering that he's holding you prisoner and could kill you at any moment, but hey, you're really brave, so I'll give you that. Now that David's pissed off with her, he decides to kill Ellie and play on her feels? Now that David's pissed off with her, he decides to kill Ellie and play on her fear of being eaten. Now, I'd like everyone to notice that David is about to kill Ellie here. No tricks, no secret plans. He is openly and clearly about to chop her head off and serve her for dinner. He has no intention in letting her go. Luckily, Ellie's able to distract them by biting David and telling him he's infected. Now, at first he doesn't believe her, but just like a normal person would, there's definitely a seed of doubt in his head. His friend only helps prove Ellie's point by pointing out that her bite looks real. Obviously, both are confused, both knowing that a normal infected person would have turned by now. But, of course, our favorite clicker-killing redhead happens to be immune. Now, I assume that although Ellie is immune to the infection, that doesn't stop her from actually spreading it via biting someone. The virus is still in her body, it just can't grow and take over her like a normal person. This would explain why she's still able to set off infection detectors. So we know David's infected and probably only has a few hours to live. However, he carries on thinking that it's just some trick she made up. I mean, who can blame him? However, he can't deny that her bite looks real. And so there must be some seed of doubt gnawing at him. Some part of him must be afraid that he really is infected and only has a few hours to live. This is important for later, so, remember it. Now, Ellie being the fighter she is, she manages to kill his friend and run out. Now, as we sneak across town, we hear that David's warned the town people that Ellie's escaped and that she's infected. Now, perhaps he actually believes her now, but most likely he just said this so they'd shoot her on sight and are more committed in hunting her down. I mean, obviously we can't have an infected person just walking around town biting people. Now, Ellie manages to sneak her way to the edge of town and ends up in a large restaurant. Unluckily for her, David appears at the door, having tracked her to the restaurant. Now, I believe right here is another example of him having second thoughts on whether he's infected or not. He asks her,
"How did you do it?"
Now, this could be asking her how she faked her infection bite, hoping to hear her prove that her infection is fake. However, this single line could imply anything. He's more likely asking how she managed to get this far. It's really up to the viewer to decide, so I won't use it as any strong point. Now, here comes the moment that everyone's been waiting for. The famous attempted rape scene. David locks the door and attempts to hunt down Ellie with his machete as the place is on fire. Now, he could simply lock her inside and wait for the building to burn down with her in it, but David is out for blood. He wants to kill her himself and enjoy doing it. The player has to sneak behind David and attack him from behind, in a classic video game 3-time pattern. Now, after the third time, Ellie gets thrown over his shoulder and knocked out, David also fainting due to his injuries. It's unclear how long the two spent unconscious, but Ellie wakes up first, still dazed and very injured from the fight. She crawls slowly towards David's machete that's fallen underneath one of the booths. However, before she can get to it, of course, David manages to somehow get up with 3 stab wounds and kicks Ellie hard in the stomach. Now, it's here that many people seem to misinterpret his actions. David climbs on top of her and starts strangling her. He's enjoying her death. With all the trouble she's caused, he's going to want to savor her suffering, wanting to truly break her in spirit and body before ending it. Kind of like Bane.
thought we'd break first. Your spirit? Oh, your buddy!
Now, here's how I can prove he isn't going to rape her. He's gonna kill her! He's shot her multiple times and sent the townspeople out to shoot her on sight and is now choking her out on the floor right now. Yeah, but Canoe, if he caught her earlier, he would have raped her! Wrong. If you get caught in the game, you instantly die. No rape scene, no holding her down or knocking her out, just a straight stab through the chest. He is out for blood, and just because he's taking his time to choke her out doesn't mean he's gonna rape her. But he clearly has feelings for her. We saw his hand touch. The hand touch! This is true. I myself have also found the female sex attractive. However, if a woman broke my fingers, I probably wouldn't be as keen as I was before. Also, may I remind you that the building is on fucking fire. There's no way David's going to take the time to rape her as the building burns down around them. He's not that stupid. Everyone who argues that he did try to rape her bases their main point on something Ellie says to Joel when he shows up.
He tried to...
Now, everyone seems to jump to the conclusion that she means rape, not realizing that she's not implying that at all. Now, my friend says that there's no way she'd be distraught at someone trying to kill her, or her killing someone else. I mean, it's not like she hasn't been through that shit before. However, I'd like to point out that this situation is very different. First off, yes, Ellie has already killed many people before this moment, and many people have definitely tried to kill her. So she may be desaturated to violence and death, as she only kills in what she believes is self-defense. However, her first kill did make an impact on her. Even though she knows that she had to do it, and she doesn't regret it, she still felt something. So saying that she doesn't feel anything when it comes to death is a bit of a stretch. Now, David is different from the usual in-game enemies. For one, he's sadistically creepy when it comes to killing Ellie. Unlike other enemies who just want to kill her, David wants to break her in every way. He doesn't just want to kill her, he wants to see her give up, something no other enemy really cares about. Second, let's not forget that she saw David's gang cutting up dead people to eat. No matter what the context, seeing cannibalism is scarring. Also, something she's clearly afraid to happen to her. Finally, David's persistence in hunting her down. The fact that he wants to kill her slowly and painfully. The fact that no matter how hard she tries, he just won't seem to die. She's left with him standing over her, choking her out slowly. This isn't like any other fight she's been in. She's never come this close to dying. It really feels like this is where it all might end for her. And she's alone, with no one there to help her. And when she just manages to reach the machete and able to get him off her, all of her pent-up fear and anger comes out as she hacks at his face. She's so traumatized that she keeps hacking away long after he's dead. The gore is so gruesome, it even flies up into the shot. Unlike her other fights where she shot or stabbed people, Ellie is carving a man's face in half. This is traumatizing, and it's why she's so upset when Joel finds her. Everything she just went through in the last 2 days was worse than anything she had experienced in her life. In conclusion, I can proudly say that there's no proof of David having any intent on raping Ellie. Sure, he may have wanted to get with her at one point or another, but he quickly changes his mind and focuses on murdering her instead. Hopefully this video has helped put this argument to rest. Just in case you haven't played The Last of Us, but for some reason watched through this video, go play it. It's an amazing game and it's one of my personal favorites. Be sure to leave a comment and tell me your opinion on the matter, of whether you thought David actually raped Ellie or not. I'm Canoe3, and thanks for watching.
What are we afraid of? Illnesses that plague us, or the realization with this life it has made us. When right and wrongs cast aside and you do what you must to survive, who you were has been lost. Daily you walk along the few moral lines that you still yet to cross. You were once just a man, now something less here you see.